Beyonce. All right? We're not all divas. Get over yourself. The ego can do harm to even the best leaders. An ego is truly, truly destructive. The world seems to only revolve around them and their needs. When an inflated ego becomes the norm, you may become inflexible and unwilling to take the small personal risks necessary to break out of your comfort zone and pour yourself into your work fully. Others hover close to their safety zone because they'd rather live with the perception of invulnerability than take a risk. This is obviously a recipe for underperformance. So be aware of these ego-fueled danger. Everything stems from the top. So your actions roll downhill to your employees, all right? You can dictate so much based on how you act and how you behave, all right? Your actions matter and they flow downhill. Remember, a skunk stinks from the head down. Make sure you accept blame and take responsibility for your actions. Set an example. Do not be a snake in a woodpile. I'm sure we know a lot of people who have such big egos that their heads can barely fit through the door. Anybody want to comment on how this affects them? Your bosses aren't here.
Well, considering I'm the only other person standing in the room, I must be a leader because I'm not sitting.
Right.
So.
Thank you.
No, a question, because it comes up. I know you were talking about, having a team and the back and forth and things like that. And it always comes up. Do you do that on an individual basis, or you do it in a group? Because typically when people will ask me, we should have a group meeting, go over everything, but a lot of times it can be confrontational because you want to show them what's good and what's bad. And if you point out what someone did bad, does that make them feel uncomfortable, or is that a learning experience? I know it's how it's said, but everybody takes offense to being confronted. But I was always told that in life you should always make a decision. If you do something right, you did it right. If you do something wrong, you learn from that experience. So it's okay to tell someone they did something wrong and they should learn from it, and give them the ability to do that by answering all their questions and simply telling them what to do. No one's ever going to learn anything. So I always believe in that. I think you were alluding to it in some of the other things, but I was just wondering how people feel, because they shouldn't feel like they're being chastised if something goes wrong. They should learn from it.
I was always told that whatever you want everybody to know, you do it in a group. Whatever you want to address on an individual basis, you address individually. So if you don't want to embarrass somebody amongst everybody, don't do it in a group. But if you want to question somebody about their emotions that day or why they're upset, do it individually.
Seth, I think you compliment in public, criticize, or critique in private.
There you go.
That's the way to do it.
You really should be up here.
You're a lot better looking.
All right, number 7 is use your head. I love this one because it says, Bob has 36 candy bars. He eats 29. What does he have now? Diabetes. Bob has diabetes. I also love this saying, your phone is smart, your TV is smart, why can't you be smart? The United Negro College Fund had a tagline that was, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. So I'm going to tell you, freaking use it. Use your mind. You don't want your teams to walk around with t-shirts on that say, I'm with stupid. I know this is harsh, but this is the reality of the workplace. Nothing pisses me off more than people who do not use common sense, who don't ask questions to try and understand the task at hand. The people who make assumptions are even worse. Does anybody know what assumptions stand for? Make an ass out of you and me, and it does. But to be a leader, you need to take the mind to the next level. The mind is an amazing superpower. Mental agility is a flexibility of mind, a tendency to anticipate or adapt to certain or changing situations. Agility allows you to be creative and utilize all your resources. Simply keep an open mind to all possibilities and solutions. Also, quickly isolate and identify problems. Do not let them fester. There's a third piece to this that I could do an entire presentation on, but it's utilizing emotional intelligence. And if you guys have a chance, when you get home, Google this, and you really want to be a leader and really know how to lead your teams, study this. Emotional intelligence is the ability to identify, use, understand, and manage emotions in a positive way. If you have a high emotional intelligence, you are able to recognize your own emotional state and the emotional state of others. So if you can recognize that you are having a really bad day, it's probably a good idea not to do somebody's annual review, right? Let's push that off to the next day. Or if somebody else is having a really bad day, again, maybe let's push off their annual review to the next day. You got to use your head. Whether you're interviewing, assessing a crisis issue, or simply trying to figure out how to develop and maintain your teams, emotional intelligence is a key skill set because you and your mind can do anything together. Power move number 8 is keeping it simple. Leonardo da Vinci said, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." It's my favorite quote and how I truly try to live my life. Simple, not money. And simplicity, I think, is the next big thing in leadership and business. We are so enamored by our elaborate systems and technology. I remember about 3 years ago, we implemented our Yardi system. I know Barbara loves that. And I thought, oh my God, we're putting all this technology in. But you know what? It's so elaborate, and it does take people time to get used to it. So sometimes we have to think outside the box a little bit. And we're going to talk about thinking outside the box later. Because when an issue arises, we always try to design an elegant and complete solution. But you actually need to do much less. You need to think more holistically and move away from process and towards simple solutions. Why have 10 steps when you can have 3? I like to call them bite-sized solutions. We need short and agile solutions, bite-sized solutions. The need for simplicity is everywhere. Stop wasting time on what you don't need and focus on the few things that you do need. All right, we're going to play a little quiz right now. And you'll have an opportunity to win a Dunkin' Donuts gift card. Oh. So we're going to play, are you a wannabe leader or are you just an awesome leader? All right. First question. All I am is a mere winner. Raise your hand. Let me know if it's a wannabe or a leader.
Wannabe.
I need one person to give out a card to. Somebody raise their hand real quick.
Wannabe.
Wannabe. Here, have some coffee later.
You could be like Bob and get a box of donuts and everything.
Number 2, I only respond to incentives.
Wannabe.
Wannabe? All right, good.
You didn't put the answer on.
There's a trend here, by the way, guys. I nail-bitingly follow the rules. First hand. What did you say, Barbara? I don't live in reality. So we're learning what a wannabe is? Cool. All right. Number 9 is just say no. Developing the ability to control and manage the yeses that you give is the essence of leadership, strength, and integrity. Dr. Evil never had a problem saying no. We're going to see why if this would come up. technical difficulties. All right, we'll come back to that. So are you ever in a situation where people are asking things of you all day, and all you want to do is say yes and have them go away? Yeah, right? Yes is such a powerful word that many of us don't realize the power that it gives to other people, all right? Especially those who do not deserve it, right? It makes people feel important who are not at all. We actually only have a limited number of yeses to give. So pay attention to where you give it and who you give it to. Because when you become selective with the yeses, it's called leadership. Don't feel that you always need to justify your actions either. A true leader who is consistent and fair should never have to justify. And I think we're not going to be able to do this one. So I'll come back later. Okay. Number 10 is make a decision. Anybody here a Dave Matthews fan? Jeff? So he wrote a song called Cry Freedom. And in there he says, hands and feet are all alike, but fear divides us. Fear. Anybody know what fear stands for? False evidence appearing real. Need that again? False evidence appearing real. And it paralyzes our decision-making process. Fear causes inaction when action is vital. It's not the absence of fear, it's the ability to put fear to the side and do what is necessary. Don't think that fear has to go away. It doesn't. It's a very important part of your life. Just got to be able to put it to the side. So we need to be more courageous as leaders. Nothing is admirable or confident about indifference. People who are indifferent are kind of lame and scared. Not to be harsh, but you got to be strong. As a leader, you need to have a strong and courageous personality. Dithering about decisions or not being willing to make difficult decisions causes employees to question your leadership skills. You got to take calculated risks and accept the possibility of failure by both you and your teams. You can't be afraid of the world and the repercussions of your choices. Not only do you have to make difficult decisions, but you also need to anticipate potential issues. All right? It can't be a fire drill every single time an issue arises. You need to take the appropriate risk. Managing your risks are really, really important. And finally, own your mistakes. Own them. People will respect you when you own them. All right? People do not respect people who cower in the corner. Okay? Number 11 is rolling with it. This grandma's having a cocktail while working out. She's clearly rolling with it. In order to have a positive attitude and outlook on life, you have to be able to roll with the punches and don't be afraid to change. Life has so many ups and downs, so many chapters and pages, but it's the choices that you make during these times that will define you in your life and whether you will have a meaningful life or if you're just going to hide underneath the covers. Constantly thinking about the past and only anticipating the future is a recipe for disaster. It's okay to embrace the past, but you have to move on. Remember, the only time you can affect is the present. The only time you can affect is the present. You have no control over the past or the future. If you speculate too much about the past or the future, you will not get anything done. Also, be versatile and know how to adapt. Power move number 12. Anybody here have a boss or colleague who is so stiff and unfun that It makes your job, workplace so unfun. Anybody want to raise their opinion? Yeah. You're the stiff one?
No.
It's a shame. We're not, Bruce. I'm going to tell you something, a little secret. The stiff will be broken. All right? How do you roll with it? You got to lighten the F up. You got to lighten up. How do you do this? First, I like to tell my employees this. Sometimes they don't listen. Sometimes I don't even listen. You got to smile first. And second, acknowledge that you're hard on yourself. Stop feeling stupid, inadequate, guilty, or remorseful. Get some guts. Develop a thicker skin. And a soft heart, too. Laugh more. Bring more spirit to the office. Have dance party Fridays with your teams. I actually have dance party Fridays in the office where we just bump music, and for 10 minutes, you don't have it. I'll implement it for you. Give yourself and your team's permission to play, which will lighten the mood and hopefully get some laughs. Play is very important, and I know we all have a tremendous amount of work. Our days are so jam-packed. But even if it's 5 minutes, let them play. Put a little Nerf basketball hoop up. You know, just have fun. Have meditation, yoga, do something fun. Lightening up is also about courage. Going to bat for your team members is so important. Standing up for what is right and taking responsibilities for your actions. Just lighten up. All right. Number 13, take action. Sometimes we need to take action because we have to go to the facilities. So now we've lightened up. We've learned to roll with it. We're making decisions. We're keeping things simple. Now we need to get shit done. All right, now you got to put it all into action. Action will delineate and define you. And your actions are directly related to the influence that you have on others. I guarantee that this ability supersedes intelligence, talent, and your contacts in determining success. Believe it or not, very few people excel at getting results. To be a leader, you need to be a doer. You need to take initiative and be resourceful. Because sometimes the tools that you've been provided won't work. It won't be available to you. Don't just think about things, actually do things. Anybody here ever get an email? Comes in and it's like an action-oriented email. I need you to send me this. And you don't do it for like 3 days. You just let it sit there and fester, even though you should have done it. It was so simple. Do it today, right? We've all done that. Do it today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and you also don't want to be known as somebody who puts things off. If you're fearful of a task or an implementation, whatever it is, action kills fears. The most difficult time to take action is the first time. After that, you build confidence, and things just start getting easier. So if you have fear, have action behind it. Start doing things. You can only improve your situation by taking action every day. So just be a doer, get shit done, show your teams that you're a doer and you're not just sitting behind this chair. Get stuff done. Number 14. The power move is called give the finger. So my little mouse friend here is saying, can't see the haters when I got my love glass on. Maybe it's a gerbil. Gerbil.
It's a guinea pig.
Guinea pig, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So why can we give a finger to the driver who cuts us off on the parkway? But or they'll shoot you, you're right. But when we have dreams and desires, we tend to cower in the corner. So we're all hot shots, right? When the driver cuts us off, we curse, we want to kill them, we give them the finger. But our goals, when it comes to our goals, we're just in the corner.
Doesn't bother me, I just keep driving.
You just keep driving?
That's what I do with
No?
Maserati. What do you think?
Right.
After they give me the finger, I just
Or maybe you're cutting them off with the Maserati.
people are just in the way.
That's right. You can't care about adversity in the face of your goals. If you piss some people off, but you feel you're doing what is right and important, then who cares? It's okay to piss people off every now and then. You must stare adversity in the face and shove your middle finger back at it, like you do to that guy or the girl on the parkway or the turnpike. If you know that what you're doing is right, laugh at the haters, like our guinea pig. Okay. Give a finger to the trivial shit and focus on what really, really matters. Be a rebel with a cause. Don't see what you have to lose, see what you could win. Really important. Let's change the attitude, let's change the mindset. Don't see what you have to lose, see what you could win instead. 15. Think outside the box. There seems to be a bathroom theme in some of these. Anybody here have a policy and procedure manual that's like 200 pages long? Anybody? Yes? Yeah, I see a couple people shaking their heads. So I just received a risk management document, a policy and procedure document from one of our partners that was 145 pages. 145 pages for one topic. I promise you, risk management, that's about what you do in a fire and things like that. You are not going to that manual in the time of a crisis or an emergency, right? The new world that we live in requires new ideas, significantly bigger than a mere box or a mere 200-page binder. The greatest future breakthroughs will come from leaders who encourage thinking outside not just a box or a couple boxes, but a whole building full of boxes. If you ever go and study startups, whether it's Uber or name any of them, all they do all day is think out of the box. There are barely any policy and procedure manuals at these places. They just think out of the box, and that's how they become successful. Great leaders allow space and room so that team members can experiment outside the box. Let your team members get out of the box. Don't let your preconceptions, your habits, your lack of information and narrow-mindedness keep you from considering all possible aspects of a problem or an issue. Get outside your own mental constraints and consider all the information at your disposal, allowing yourself to see beyond your normal, limited horizon. You need to encourage your teams to think outside the box, but as a leader, you have to be able to hold up that box, right? You're not going to be in it, you're going to be outside of it, holding it up. So why are you outside that box? Because you have to help execute those ideas and develop a mutual trust and respect amongst all your team members. So let your team members be in many different boxes. You as the leader, hold those boxes up, make sure they're not getting too big, they're not overflowing, all right? Stop enhancing the existing and focus on developing new solutions. Focus on impact. Anybody know what impact is? Let's talk about impact and inputs real quick. Anybody know what an input is? Start there. Inputs are revenues and sales. All right, the money coming into the business. Impact is culture. Focus on the culture and your revenue and your sales will come. I guarantee it. Focus on the culture. Let your employees feel that they're part of the team. Think outside the box. And the sales and the revenue will come. Number 16 is don't look back. And it's our last power move, but it's not just about leading. but this one is about living better. So this is my plea to you. Where are you going in this life? It's time to spread your wings and fly away from the past. It's time to be fresh and contemporary. Be driven by a cause and a belief. To start living your life you haven't already. You have no idea what tomorrow will bring. Make memories today. Make time for people. Don't have regrets. Don't be jealous of others. Appreciate healthiness. I'm going to say that again. Appreciate being healthy. Okay? We waste so much time talking and talking, but not enough doing. We tell lies. We can be wicked to others. We're so careful and spend so much time being safe. But life passes us by. Forget the past. Live the present and trust the future. Please, be the best version of you that you can be every day. The world needs more remarkable people. Don't look back, and let's go and become leaders. So, one final quiz for you guys.
The Starbucks cards?
Dunkin' Donuts still. I have stock in them. I don't have stock in stuff. All right, again, wannabe or leader? I have a soul. Raise your hand.
Leader.
Leader. There might be a trend here as well. I live a life that matters. Yes. Hard guess. I lead by example. There you go. Pass that.
Thank you.
And last one, I tell the truth. Probably the most important one. Thank you. There you go. So has everybody got it? Everybody know how to be a leader?
Yeah, good.
Questions?
Question.
Yeah.
What was the question? Isn't a lot of times that opposites attract, and some people within your organization are required to think differently than the leader or other people, because you can't have everybody being in the same boat. You need people who actually think about different things, and everybody's not programmed for the same scenario.
That's why you need many boxes. So you can't just think inside one box. You got to think inside or outside many boxes, because one team member could be, thinking about it one way, another team member's thinking about it the other way. So, yeah, you got to be able to think many different ways.
Well, I'm just trying to help you. I work better with a lot of people who think differently than me.
Sure.
Who would like to do tasks that I don't like to do. We all will do the same thing if it comes down to it, but
Yes.
we all, try to do what we can do. And last question is, who do you think is the most important people in your organization?
Everybody but me.
Oh, a lot of times people don't realize it's the people who deal with your customer, which is
Absolutely.
Because I always tell people that, and they don't think I'm telling the truth, but the most important people, I can talk all day about what we should be doing, but those people don't do it, then nothing ever gets done. So the most important people are the people who deal with the residents and are carrying out your mission or whatever you want to call
Absolutely.
it.
I mean, as I just said, I was kind of joking, but no, everybody's important but me. Like, I only can do so much, right? It's the team member, it's all the other team members who prevent from having to call me on a Saturday afternoon that really matter. Jeff.
Your point is paramount that you support the important people of your team.
Gotta hold up the box.
That's the whole key of the
Exactly.
equation. Right?
Exactly.
That's why you're doing the problem.
Thank you. Anybody have any other questions?
I just make a statement.
Yeah.
Based on one of the things I really like that you said, and I teach a class on attracting top talent, and part of that is how do you keep good people, and you hit, to me, one of the biggest things being a headhunter that we see is giving the people the ability to not work specifically in a box, saying, okay, when something happens, you look at page 37, giving them the ability to be who they are has been, most of the companies where I see longevity, it's somebody giving them that freedom to, not everybody's going to be a leader. but it does give them the ability to feel like they're contributing to the organization as opposed to every 35 seconds hitting a switch and going like this. So I thought that was really.
Thank you.
Well said.
Anybody else? Good?